I'm standing here with David Tracy, Communications Director with the ChaosGroup. Hi, David.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, hi.
So for our users, they're very familiar with you, I'm sure. ChaosGroup, makers of V-Ray. Can you tell us a little bit about what V-Ray or what ChaosGroup is bringing to Siggraph this year as far as V-Ray Days goes? What's that all about?
Yeah, so V-Ray Days is free sessions. They're available to all attendees of Siggraph. And it's a really kind of a neat opportunity. We have a lot of presenters from various studios for like film, games, television. We show off some of the tech that we're working on as well. They're kind of neat because a lot of these presentations are exclusive. You can't take any pictures in them or take any audio or anything like that. And it's kind of a nice, kind of an unfiltered, edited kind of view of how they work on various projects for all of these good studios. Like Pixamundo is going to be there, and Atomic Fiction, and they did a whole bunch of work on The Walk, which you and I were talking about.
Yes,
and
yes.
they did a lot of really great work for the new Star Trek movie as well.
Oh, very cool.
So, yeah.
As far as the new tech that you're working on and what you're going to be talking about at V-Ray Days, are you able to talk a little bit about that here? As I know that you have some stuff going on with VR. What is that all about?
VR, so VR is really interesting because for one thing, we have a partnership with a company called No Zone. And what they've been able to do is they've been able to create a direct from V-Ray through their plugin to create content of VR that has 6 degrees of movement. So you're not just like looking around, you can actually move and look behind things and see reflections and stuff like that. You can do all of this without a game engine. So it's kind of a new, easier way for people that don't have to learn new tech. The problem with VR is that there's workflow is such a, it's not easy to create content for VR, and that's something that's really of interest to us. We've been exploring some ways in which we can actually do live rendering while you're looking through the viewer, so that in the direction that you look in your headset is where we're concentrating the ray tracing, so that people don't have to like test something looking at their screen and then put on the headset and look around and see if it looks okay. Like you can actually make editorial decisions while in VR, and that's some of the tech that we're exploring right now.
That's incredible. It sounds like such a game changer and so relevant because we're walking around Siggraph and all we're seeing is VR.
Everyone's running around with headsets.
Everyone's running around with headsets,
I know,
so what a
yeah.
cool, it sounds like it will streamline that process as far as creating it, right?
Because, I mean, if you're a creative-minded person, you don't want to have to be learning lots of different things. You want it to be as an intuitive a process as possible so you can be creative.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things. Another thing that we were talking about a little bit at the show is V-Ray for Houdini,
Yes,
which is something that's going to be released in September or October. We're not doing it as a regular product release. We're actually going to be putting it up on GitHub. So it's going to be available just to Houdini artists.
Wonderful.
And they'll be able to render with it using their V-Ray for Maya render nodes or their V-Ray for Max render nodes.
Okay.
It's going to be an open-sourced V-Ray product for Houdini customers.
That's awesome. And you had a V-Ray for Moto as well, correct?
Yes, V-Ray for Moto. I've been working a lot on that one personally, so I am happy with the V-Ray for Moto.
Okay.
We have a really great relationship with the foundry. It just came out a couple weeks ago. And it's really fun to see. I come from that world. I used to work on Moto, so now V-Ray artists have access to Moto, and Moto artists have access to V-Ray. It's really a fun mix. And now Moto artists have CPU and GPU rendering in addition to their own native renderer within Moto. So, yeah.
Sounds
all good.
awesome. All good.
It's all good.
Well, thank you so much, David. Yes, please.
One more thing. Sorry.
Please,
If you are here, also, we have a paper on, this is very technical, stochastic flakes, GPU accelerated, by our own CTO, Vlado, and some of his developers that are going to be presented as a paper here for people.
Wow.
We love the tech.
So can you give us a little bit more of a definition in layman's terms, what the paper's about, why it's important, why it's a big deal?
Yeah, so stochastic flakes are those, it's a very difficult material to replicate. And like if you imagine like a bowling ball or a bass guitar or car paint, things with little tiny metallic flecks or kind of like sparkles in the sand or in the snow, things of that sort. It's a new way that we have of doing them that is accurate and also is GPU accelerated as well. So it calculates it very quickly. So it's
Cool.
beautiful. It's a beautiful effect, and it's one that car manufacturers are always. That's always a huge challenge, is getting that look just right.
Sure. And if people want to find out more about what the Chaos Group is doing, they can visit you at
ChaosGroup.com.
chaosgroup.com. Thank you, David.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.